I've made an executive decision. So I'm gonna leave the When the World Tips Over book review here for this video, and I'm gonna make a separate video talking about that book. I'm just gonna do a whole video like reviewing that book, or like a read with me. I just want to kind of record the whole thing. Now you're all caught up. I should have given her the benefit of the doubt and not judged after just 17 pages, guys. I've only read this much, which is not even 100 pages. I don't know what I was thinking judging that quickly. I should have had faith. This author is such a good writer that even like a storyline that I would usually really struggle with is engaging, and I'm extremely invested. And I feel like I have loads to say. So I got to the Miles POV because it starts out with Dizzy and then you get to Miles. And yeah, I feel like this is a surprise to no one that I really relate to him. His internal monologue is just, I was reading it like, is this me? This is just what I was like as a teenager. So here's a quote for you. Miles's religion had been imagining boys lying beside him, imagining boys walking beside him, imagining boys running beside him, imagining boys naked, imagining boys clothed, imagining boys who imagine boys who imagine boys. Especially that last one. I spend a lot of time imagining boys. Yeah, I feel a bit called out. But he has that whole chat with the rainbow-haired girl who I'm intrigued by. I'm having a hard time imagining her voice because it describes her as like an old man that like chain smokes. That's what her voice sounds like. Why am I sat so close? Guys, I don't know how to film flattering angles. My theory at the moment is that she visits people who are like kind of on the edge of maybe dying, because she visits Dizzy when Dizzy almost gets run over, and then Miles and the dog can both see her when they're both feeling like a little bit suicidal, I guess. Oh, I love the addition of like at the end of each chapter there's like extracts from different texts that exist in that world, so like emails, diary entries, letters, stuff like that. That's so interesting. It's interesting also exploring the kind of infatuation that he has for this girl, but it's platonic. I feel like that's really interesting as well. I don't want to make any predictions, but I just wanted to talk about the bit I just read. It's just really interesting to get behind the mind of someone like him, who is a lot like me, but like in everyday life presents himself as this completely other person that I could not relate to whatsoever. It's when people have that kind of self-sabotage of you can't find anyone that you can connect to on a real level because you spend so much time projecting this other person who you think people expect you to be. So it's just like this never-ending self-fulfilling cycle of loneliness. This writer is just so incredibly good at the characterization. Each POV, each character I am incredibly invested in, which is just a huge feat. And I'm kind of falling in love with different POV books. But we're just about to switch to Winton's POV. And guys, I'm scared. Like, he's a very intimidating character so far. I don't know what I'm going to learn about him. I'm just scared. I don't know what to expect. I have a feeling I won't relate to him, but then, like, you know, there could be a completely different side to him inside of his mind. Like, I don't know, guys. This is going to be a long reading vlog. But yeah, that's where I'm at, and I'm going to read more now. Okay, reading update. I read this chapter a few chapters back, but I haven't had time to check in, so we're doing it now. I'm referring to the chapter I read about Winton. I just finished that, and I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but my thoughts following that were, oh, so the established kind of pattern you expect as a reader for us to be flipping between all three siblings' POVs and like following their lives. My prediction was we're actually going to be following Cassidy, who's like another character. So far, that prediction has been correct, but I'm like torn with this decision because first of all, it could change again. But second of all, it's probably the most long-winded chunks of POV. Her POV chapters last a long time. It is world building and establishing her character's past. And like, it is interesting and it's fun to read. You really do get dragged into the world. Like, I'm so emotionally invested whenever I read anything in this book. Like, I get very passionate reactions. However, I'm not hugely invested in these chapters at the moment. Like, I want to know, but I'm all, like, it's not like, oh my god, I need to sit down and pick up this book and carry on reading. So, like, I don't know. I was kind of enjoying the other POVs. We'll stick with it. We'll stick with it. I like that she doesn't really get to know what Winton thinks. It's just us that gets to know that. That's quite interesting. Oh yeah, and there's that whole mystery of their dad and how he like came back to life and then like disappeared. I don't know, there's a lot of things going on. Also, one thing I did want to say was, whoever it was that recommended me this book, the person in the shop, saying that there was a talking dog in the book, wildly misconstrued idea. That is not what's happening. Like, I had this idea in my head, like, that's a Family Guy. Like, no. Yeah, it's not like that. It's just like someone's internal monologue of what their dog is saying. It's not a talking dog. Like, that was what's putting me off reading this the most, and it's not even, that was a terrible way to describe it. Okay, before I update you on the reading, I have to show you. I just bought these platform shoes from a charity shop. Are you serious? Are you serious? I can't believe I found these in a charity shop. Okay, now back to the reading, right? I have a lot of thought. I have a lot more thoughts to share with you. First of all, I know back at the start I said that I related to Miles a lot. Yeah, that's not true. I take that back. I'm nothing like Miles. Please don't think I'm like Miles. I don't really like him anymore. I just related to him just always imagining gay. I'm having some issues. He's a bit icky. Like, I don't know how to say this without spoilers. So if you're going to read this book and you want to experience it all, like, while you're reading it, skip ahead, because I can't talk about this without spoilers. Whilst your brother is in hospital in a coma, you're frequently going into the cupboard and watching porn. His mind is a little bit poisoned from that, I think, because the chapters since then, he's interacting with this guy Felix, who I love, but all he can think about is just sex with this guy. And it's like, you don't know him, he's told you he's not available, and you're still, I don't know if it's just because I'm on the asexual scale, whatever it is. Maybe that's normal when you're a teenage boy, but I have never had my mind poisoned like that, where you're just constantly imagining people in situations like that. I just feel like that's so invasive. I don't like it. Also, I don't understand how it never occurred to him that him ending up in the dumpster, like that whole traumatizing thing, could have somehow not been Winton. Like, he was so quick to just jump to that conclusion and stick to it. And even when, like, you're first introduced to that as a reader, I was thinking, okay, but why is your first and only conclusion that it was Winton that did that to you? Like, how do you not think that you might have just ended up there of your own accord? I feel like he's just very self-centered. He's just not very smart. He's described as perfect Miles, and maybe that's the irony in it. It's just that he's so the opposite of that. The idea of being attracted to someone because of elements of them other than just being sexually appealing is mind-blowing for him. He laughs with this guy once and he's like, oh my god, is this how people feel? You really thought that attraction was only down to whether or not you wanted to shag someone? So yeah, we'll see whether or not he gets redeemed. On the flip side of that though, I actually really like Dizzy. She's so interesting. I love the way that she sees the world and like describes things. I just really like her. She's a very cute character. So we like Dizzy, we don't like Miles, which is a complete flip to the beginning of the book. I also think that it's a really weird coincidence that I pick up a book where a lot of the plot has characters in it that are chefs, just as I'm about to become a chef. Like, I feel like that's a very strange coincidence. I also kind of wanted to do like because I have very like specific ways that I'm imagining these characters, or at least some of them. I just wanted to show you like how I imagine the characters, basically. Okay, I want to start with Winton, and I know that it describes him with having like stringy blonde hair, but I just can't do that in my brain. Winton to me Heath Ledger and 10 Things I Hate About You. Yeah, I can't get the blonde. I can't get the blonde. And then we have Dizzy. This isn't exact. Dizzy, I imagine kind of like her from Welcome to Derry. Her, but like a lot younger. Miles is kind of a tricky one. Miles to me is a cross between this guy and this guy. I don't know why. I don't really take in the descriptions of characters when I'm reading. They just manifest in my brain, and then anything that's said I'm just kind of glossing over. Those are the only guys that I have like pinned down as like clear people I'm imagining. Everyone else I'm like struggling. However, I imagine their mum, Bernadette, like she reminds me of her from Life is Strange, if you know the game. She reminds me of her. Oh, one more. Okay, Felix, a cross between this character from Sally Face and this guy from Umbrella Academy. That's what's going on in my brain. Okay, I figured it out. Miles always thinks about having sex with boys. I always think about falling in love. That's the difference between us, but he's learning. Okay, I'm on page 320, so like pretty far through the book now. I'm loving this scene, okay? It's the scene where the car they're in just broke down and they're like sitting at the side of the road in the dark, and it's so cute. There's this like moment where the three characters in the scene are all like feeding each other food. This little like jokey thing, nod towards an experience that one of the characters had. And then there's just this moment where Felix is feeding Miles, and then it's like, is he feeling something for him? And we don't really know. The bit that gets me is like after they've finished eating and they're like kind of going to bed, Felix says, it's going to sound weird, but I want to close my eyes and for you to tell me what I'd see if they were open. Miles says, you mean like describe the stars? And Felix says, describe everything. And then he's just like, because he likes writing, he's always writing. So he starts just describing everything like really beautifully. And it's so sweet, it's so tender, and I'm just a bit obsessed with this moment. And I just want to know, what's going on with Felix. I want to know. I just turned to the next page and it literally starts with, I had a threesome in the mineral pool one night. It's just such a roller coaster of going from tender moments to just stuff like that. But I'm so obsessed with tender moments, guys. Feeding each other and then describing the... Like, I am Miles in this moment because he's like, oh my god, I'm realizing I never think about love. But that's all I think about. So, like, I'm obsessed with this moment. But, like, he's obsessed with this moment because it's the first time he's, like, experiencing it and thinking about love as a concept. Whereas it's all I think about. Like, I'm obsessed with love. So, like, any tenderness... That was my reaction to the party scene. I appreciate the way it was written. It was written artfully. But I've just read the next couple chapters about Cassidy. And if you've read the book, if the man is who we think he is, Cassidy being in love with Winton... Okay, I just read a bit more. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay. I want to theorize, but I don't want to give any spoilers away. But I feel like me theorizing is just going to give it away anyway. So, Cassidy just said that quote, I don't know what you know about your family, Winton, but we're okay. Which means she knows something and looked into it because she knows how she feels about Winton, but they're okay. And then it fast forward to Dizzy at this man's doorstep. And he's like, I'm sorry, I can't come to the hospital. So it's just like, is he their dad? And also the random man there, I'm like, is he like Alonzo Fall? Because their ancestors, like, he's gay and he's with this other man? Or have I read that completely wrong? And so he's not their father. He's just, like, what? Why is he being a dick? Why is he only bringing up Cassidy? What? I can't think of anything that would rationalize that. Like, he is just an asshole. No? We love it when dads and assholes. Okay, this isn't all the same day. I just always wear this jumper when I'm reading because it's my pajama jumper. I have so much to say. I'm like almost finished and I am invested, but it's a weird like conflicted kind of invested because I I don't have the adjectives. I'm fuming. I'm raging. I'm seething at this dad character. Oh my god. I don't think any reason you can give me will justify his behavior. And that whole scene with Miles, just every interaction basically they've had so far, like, I just feel for him so much. And I love the character development with Miles. I feel like he's a completely different person to how he started out. I'm just so much more attached to him now. Him feeling like he understands who he is more, and it's really sad, basically. It's just really sad. The problem I just had is I just read, it's not really a chapter, it's like the letter written by the mum about when she first met her husband. I really, really do not enjoy smut. It's just a fun fact for you. I really don't enjoy it. The whole sentence about throwing herself on the sacks of flour, I didn't like that. I had to close the book and walk away. Her running off for the first time with her husband, like before, obviously, when they were first starting to see each other. Like, that scene in itself, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, it was fine. And then his brother shows up, and then that whole thing happens. My reaction was the same. I was just like, because she, in so many words, she says like, and in that moment, that was me offering that there was space in my heart for the two of them. You want to be a threesome with two brothers? We don't like this mom character. There's so many layers, guys. There's just so many layers. Like, Clive, is that the guy at the start who's like the drunk neighbour who they tell to avoid? Like, there's so many layers to the amount of family trauma that is in this book. Like, I'm extremely addicted to knowing what's going on in this story, but so much of it is just so shocking. The shock factor is real. Also, a couple of things. One, when the dad character was originally introduced, I was like trying to figure out like what was going on, and I was like, is he gay? Like, is that who this guy is? But I'm pretty sure he was actually with his brother. Guys, I'm so bad with names, and I'm very confused. Especially like family tree in this is so complex. Like the family history. I'm really struggling with the names. And also, the writer, like, sometimes some of the sentences feel like they're missing words, and I'm rereading them over and over and they just don't make sense, so I don't really know what that's about. But then who is Nigel? Spoilers ahead. I need to run. So first of all, is the whole reason that she says they're okay, we're okay, Clive, is that the whole reason? Because I don't think you're okay, bitch. You're cousins. Oh, we're okay, but no. And unless I'm misunderstanding something, which is very likely because the family tree is so confusing, they're related, are they not? Like, I don't think Clive and Thea, I don't think, maybe one of them's adopted? I don't fucking know. The whole reason the family tree is this confusing, I bet, is just so that these two can get together. Nobody is following along with your weird, complex family tree. Everyone's confused. And I think that that's just a silly thing to have happen just because two characters can get together. I'm just kind of thinking like, oh, the whole reason that the dad was like, no, I can't come to the hospital with you, I can't wake him, it's just because he was sitting in his self-pity about the fact that Winton isn't his child. Grow up. This child, you fathered. To this child, you are his father. It doesn't matter about the biology. If you think, oh, I don't want to be with that child anymore because he's not my biological child, grow up. I understand what happened to him is awful. I do not like the woman Bernadette. Do not like her. And the fact that she's writing it all down, like, oh my god, I hate myself. I hate that I did this. The fact that that happened to you is bad, right? But you can't just get up and ditch all your kids and then not go back because you're in your pitying sob story about the fact that one of them isn't biologically yours. What an asshole. To then be told that he's on his deathbed and you're just like, no, I'm not going because he's not biologically. I think I'm gonna try and finish this before I update again because I feel like I'm just chatting too much. It's so good, but it also is pissing me off. I just have more things to say. This guy, the dad, right? The dad. He has the same name as me and I'm not calling him that. He learns from his son about the whole situation, dies of heartbreak, but then recovers. And then his resolution is just to leave everyone without any explanation. But he knows that his son knows. So he knows that his son is just going to blame everything on himself. And his son's now going to think, you left because you don't want to be my dad because I'm not yours. And that is just an awful, awful, awful thing to do to a child who looks up to you because you are their dad. And then to go and then just bring somebody else up instead. And this guy is so... There is no good characters, like good people in this story, except Dizzy. Unless there's a reveal about why her friend Lizard is no longer her friend. But she is a child. Like, this is a grown man with 3 kids. Oh my god. I finished it. I need to process, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, it's time to share. I have so many things to say about this book that I don't even know where to start. So I'm going to start with the fact that I loved it. I actually gave it 5 stars. 5 stars, which doesn't happen very often. But I thought, like, how can I not? Even though I didn't feel... There was some emotional investment missing from, like, all the other 5-star experiences I've had in terms of, like, the rabid obsession level. But the obsession was there. Like, I was thinking about it all the time, and I read it really fast. And I was very invested. I really enjoyed the writing. I thought the plot was really interesting. And I loved the different ways in which it was written as well. I basically just loved everything. So I thought, I need to give it 5 stars. Like, I can't really fault it. The only thing I can say in terms of faulting it, the writing towards the end in Cassidy's chapter, where it just kind of pieces everything together and like kind of clarifies almost. It wasn't really written too well because it was just kind of a summary. That would be an exception to the way that all of the rest of it is written. And it inspired a lot of writing of my own novel. So yeah, all very positive things. I will say though, I am torn about the ending. I feel like it was everything was too conveniently happy and fixed. I don't like the way that he came out of the coma. She has a way with making you so invested, but also at the same time so annoyed and so frustrated with all the characters. Like, a lot of them I'm just like, I really don't respect you, no. Like, you just make bad decisions. Like, especially the parents. And weirdly, like, bro, I love Miles so much, and I know I started the book hating him, but like, he did a lot of character growth. I feel like I have loads more to say, and it's all just left. The author has only written 3 books, and I don't have any intention to read the 3rd one. So at the moment, I'm going to be done with this author. I sort of felt Miles not ending up with Felix was just the only, oh, well, we can't have everything go correctly and how everyone wants it to, and everyone, but that would be too realistic. That would be too unrealistic. That would be taking it too far. Kind of ended up hating the dog. Still really confused about the family tree. Still really don't feel comfortable with the idea of Cassidy and Winton, even though she's like, we're not related, we're not related, we're not related. Like, everyone else in your families is related. But yeah, I've put up my Christmas list. Probably the first book I've borrowed from the library that I actually want to own, other than A Drop of Corruption. So yeah, 5-star read. I would recommend, honestly. The next book I'm going to be reading, I'm going to start tonight. Listen, you heard me saying about how I really don't enjoy smart. I'm reading this because a friend has recommended it to me and she really wants me to read it. And I'm going in completely blind. I don't know anything about this book or the story other than its reputation for a lot of smut. And so I said, full disclosure to my friend, I don't know if I'm going to like this because I really am not a smut person at all. I don't know if that's surprising or not, but I'm just not. Going in completely blind, but we're going to be starting this tonight. But that book, the book I just finished, I'm like, what's the opposite of a reading slump? Like, I'm completely in with reading. All I want to do is read. That, following the other one, like, I've been sucked in. All I want to do is read really good books. So I feel motivated to read this, because obviously it's very successful. So we'll see. Thanks for watching my reading vlog. I hope that you've been inspired to read it, and I hope I haven't spoiled too much of it. But to be honest, if you're filming a reading vlog, I feel like you should probably expect some spoilers, because otherwise, what can you really say about the book? yeah, see you guys in the next video.